Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi. Joining me today is Craig Patterson, who is founder and editor-in-chief of the national publication Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today, Craig.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
So we had some big news yesterday where MEC, otherwise known as Mountain Equipment Co-op, was bought out, is being bought out by Kingswood Capital, a California-based private investment company. Craig, what's the significance of that in this climate?
Yeah, basically what's happening here is MEC, or Mountain Equipment Co-op, as it was formerly known, was a cooperative. This is actually going to decommission that cooperative structure and turn MEC into a company for the first time since it was founded in 1971. So I think this is quite significant. On top of that, I'd gotten some insider information where they're negotiating store leases. They're looking to close between 4 and 5 locations, and they may not necessarily open a proposed Saskatoon location that had been under construction at Midtown Plaza.
So it's just another indication of kind of the pain out there, right? MEC was filing for creditor protection, correct?
That's right. And MEC had been struggling certainly before COVID-19 in terms of the store shutdowns. There's no secret there. It was out in the press. They even had me interview Phil Arata, who was the CEO. He's not anymore, or he will not be soon, depending what the timeline is. But MEC had been already in a restructuring process. So I had been speaking to some insiders who said they didn't think that a cooperative could be disbanded or decommissioned in such a way so easily, and that there may still be some legal challenges around that. I know that some members, I'm one of the 5 million members that MEC has in Canada, members hadn't been notified that this was happening. Personally, I just want them to survive. They can do whatever they want. Basically, it was $5 I paid in 2007. But some people are angry by this news. They're like, well, we were consulted, we're the shareholders, or the structure that was there. But the co-op function, and this is something that other news publications wouldn't have really reported, I guess was quite challenging for MEC. There had been some activists on boards. They weren't necessarily pro-business. And I think that the leadership shifts that we were seeing over the last few years were trying to get MEC back on track financially, as well as to get into the future. We saw Decathlon coming into the market. It's a French sports retailer, largest one in the world. And I think that this was a huge threat to MEC because Decathlon competes on price and has experiences in its store. And MEC was less of a competitor on price, even though known to have value, but really was relying on its in-store experience. So the competition is really going to be challenging for MEC, I think, over the next few years as Decathlon expands across the country.
Speaking of challenging times for retailers, you've written quite a lot recently about companies, facing bankruptcy, filing for creditor protection. What have been some of the biggest ones that have sought those routes right now?
Yeah, well, in recent memory, Group Dynamite got the women's Dynamite stores as well as garage stores in 8 countries, primarily in Canada. You've written about a few of them as well. Aldo shoes. I think I did one on Comark. I start to get blurred because there's so many of them. But we've had some biggies out there. Reitman's was another one, and more to come. Some of them that haven't yet been reported in the news. I know Geox Canada has filed. I'm not sure. They're a footwear brand. I'm not sure what they'll be doing in terms of their stores. Another one that hasn't really received much coverage is Ernst, which is a Quebec-based menswear retailer with, I think it's 37 or 45 locations. So there have actually been more filings than we realize. And some of them have been quiet, some of them have been smaller retailers. So what I've been told generally is that it's going to pretty much be the norm that we're going to see filings. We may see some very, very big names in the next few days and weeks filing as well. Household names at your local mall. So it's just I think we're moving into a different era in retail right now, and that era will be leaner and meaner for the retailers that have physical stores in terms of having fewer locations, and will certainly be more digital focused and digital heavy. I think moving forward in terms of online shopping is going to be critical for any retailer, whether or not they have a physical storefront or not.
So, yeah, when we look at the scenarios right now, the numbers, the most recent numbers for COVID, we continually see many daily new cases, both in Ontario and in Alberta, where I'm based, obviously. Um, Basically, it's a signal that this ain't going away anytime soon. So I guess from a retail perspective, the longer this continues, the more pain there's going to be out there for the industry.
Absolutely. I mean, number one, I'd be worried about food service and restaurants and whatnot, having to operate at a lower capacity, as well as people just avoiding the indoor component of those businesses. Obviously, being in Canada, we're going to have winter coming upon us in a while, hopefully later than sooner. And but it's harder to be on a patio and enjoy yourself in the winter. It can be done, but it's going to take some effort. So this was really going to hit the restaurant industry. In terms of retail, same thing again. I mean, I think we're heading into a second wave. Talking about the COVID numbers, this is going to be catastrophic. I think to a lot of retailers, we're going to have consumers probably pushing back again against spending with certain segments. You're going to have people going out and shopping less in a physical capacity. So we are in certain segments going to see reduced retail sales. This is going to be a challenging time. If the consumer is spooked more than once, they're going to be more likely to, I think, shift to being conservative. All of this uncertainty is really bad for retail, and it's going to be interesting to watch what happens in the next few weeks and months as government monies run out, and as we have more waves, and when is the border with the United States going to be opened? What's going to happen? What are the implications for Canada with an American election, be it pipelines or otherwise? These are all questions that are going to be answered, I think, towards the end of this year, and hopefully we have at least some good news coming out of something somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us today, Craig.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
Great. That was Craig Patterson, who is founder and editor-in-chief of the national publication Retail Insider. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi. Thanks for joining us today.